Hey guys, so we are back for Cast Iron Thursdays. This is going to be, I guess, my live every Thursday. And so today we're going to be doing the smaller collection I have. Obviously, I don't have that many of these brands, like Martin Stoven Range, favorite Piqua wear, Wapak, and some other ones here. As you can see here, there is a collection that I have that isn't very many. But yeah, so we're just gonna wait. We're gonna wait about 5 minutes, guys. So hang out for a minute. And as you can see here, as I mentioned, we have several items that I want to talk about. Some enameled tortilla presses, and pretty much some deep fryers and skillets, things of that nature. So stick around. As I mentioned, we're gonna wait for a bit, let more people join us. And as you can see today, I'm doing this outside my home here. It's a very nice weather, and I figured it'd be nice to do it out today. As I mentioned, give us about 4 minutes so other people can join, and we'll get this going. Okay, guys, so welcome, Rick. Welcome, Hippie Longshanks. It is a very beautiful day here in Reno, Nevada. Rhode Island Eats, what's going on? And as I mentioned, guys, we're going to be waiting for a little bit more of the more people to show up. So I want to say another minute or so, and then we're going to get going. We're going to be talking today about the smaller, I guess you could say, collection that I have of other brands like Wapak, Martin Stoven Range, favorite Piqua wear, some enameled, well, actually, one enameled tortilla press, a cast iron seasoned tortilla press, some a saucepan, and two chicken fryers, and some UFOs. Hello, Jeanette. Kimberly Miller, hello. All right, guys, so I want to say let's just get this started. I think we have enough people to get it going, to have a conversation here. So let's start off. Excuse me. Okay, guys, so let's start off with, I want to say we'll start off with the Martin Stoven Range. Right here. Very good looking skillet. This one here sits flat. I do want to say that I bought this off a website, so I think I did go to Etsy. I have mentioned before, guys, that if you guys go to Etsy, it is, the pricing is a lot better. eBay, the sellers there, they kind of gouge the prices to the point where you can't really, if you want to buy something, you're not going to get a great deal. But I got this off of Etsy, and it looks great. I've used it several times. It has already been restored, so all I did was just use it and give it a coat of seasoning before and after using it. So as I mentioned, it is a work in progress. I don't use these very often. Here's one of the things that I have noticed is that since I do have a storage system where I kind of place them on top of each other, you can see here a little bit of that seasoning getting scuffed up. I gotta find a better way. I do have paper, some just like construction paper that I like to place on these and then stack another skillet on top. But for some reason I didn't do it to this one, and as you can see, that's what happens here and here when you guys don't protect them. They can still, they're not damaged, but the seasoning does get scratched a bit. Not a big deal, but as I mentioned, sits flat, works great, and you can't beat Martin Stoven Range logo. This is the hamburger logo. Now I want to say that this one was possibly casted around the 1935s, 1920s, 1935s. Around that time is when they were producing these. It does have a heat ring. I don't know if you guys can see it very well, but yes, it does have a heat ring. The handle, pretty small. The reason why I got this at a great price, actually, the 8, as you can see, has been, there was some sand shift. It wasn't casted properly, so they did discount the price, but cooking surface, you know, there's no hitting, no issues whatsoever with that, no heavy utensil marks, which is a great, you know, for me it was perfect. And as I mentioned, the logo, usually you can't really see the logos, so for me this one was perfect. And I think I want to say that I think I got it for $98. So was it expensive? Yes, but if you go to eBay, you're gonna find these at a higher price. So for me, this was a great price considering the fact that it is, as I mentioned, in great shape. Weight wise, it's actually not that heavy. I want to say it weighs about 4.5 pounds, give or take. So not as heavy as some other ones. It is on the lighter side. And as I mentioned, works great as a user or as a collectible. But I like to use mine. I like to rotate them. So these get used every so often. But this one is the first one, as I mentioned, of the collection of the... So I only have one of these. So this is somewhat of a mashup of the smaller collection that I have. All right, let's move on to the Wapak. And forgive me if I'm saying it wrong, guys. For me, it's Wapak, or some other people I've heard them say Wapak. For me, it's Wapak, but if I'm mispronouncing it, let me know, guys. This one is the Z logo. As you can see, it almost looks like a Z here, and that's why they call it the Z logo Wapak. This one also sits pretty flat. It has a heat ring, but it is a lot smaller than the other ones compared to some other skillets. Also a number 8. It also has this T here, which I don't know much about. I want to say these were probably produced in the I think they told me 1925, 1930s. Don't quote me on the date. I did have some information on these. I have posted these. I want to say on my social media, I think I have posted information on these, but I don't recall. I did research, obviously, when I purchased these. But the other ones with the Native American headdress, those are a lot harder to find and a lot more expensive. But I know that some people do collect those, but they go for a hefty price. This one here, I got it off of, I want to say it was a yard sale. It was already restored, but I have used it several times. It's extremely smooth, and the seasoning is, you know, here and there. I want to say I've used it a handful of times. I want to say maybe less than 5. But in those 5 times, it's done a great job. So handle-wise, the handle is very reminiscent of a Wagner from the earlier Wagners, the ones with the heat ring. So I don't know if Wagner perhaps, even the shape, or even the design here. It's almost reminiscent of a Wagner from the 1915s, 1920s. Don't know if Wagner was the one producing the skillets for Wapak, but either way, as I mentioned, it sits flat, works great, and I try my best to rotate these for everyday use. Obviously, I can't, with this large of a collection, I can't use these every single time that I cook. So yeah, it takes, last time that I used this was, I want to say, about 3 months ago. So it has been some time now, but I am going to rotate these and possibly do some cornbread or baking or, sauteing some veggies and perhaps post it on a shorts video here on YouTube. But as I mentioned, works great. Looks great, works great. So that is the only Wapak that I own. Now let's move on to something else. And let me know if you guys have some information on these, or if you guys want to add that in the chat, go, you can go and do so. But anyway, let's move on. And this is the favorite Piqua ware. Don't know if I'm pronouncing that right either. Is it Piqua? Piqua? I think it is Piqua or Piqua. But the smiley logo, as many have come to know it. This one works great as well. Seasoning hasn't taken as well as I would like it to, to have taken. But either way, still works great. No issues. I did receive this one actually I got this for a great price. I got it for $40. So $40, and I did buy this on Etsy. So I mentioned that you guys can find great deals on Etsy, and it's not going to break the bank. And this one was just completely crusty, completely crummy. There was a lot of hair in the seasoning. So I do want to say that perhaps a woman owned this, and there was a lot of just caked on seasoning. And I did my best. I placed it in my lye tank to get rid of the carbon buildup. But as you can see, there's still some reminiscent carbon buildup here and there. But that's mostly on the outside, so not a big deal. I did my best to restore this one. And I actually bought this one about a year and a half ago. So technically when I first started venturing into the restoration process of these, of cast iron cookware. So the inside, as I mentioned, not as great as I would like it to be. There is some carbon buildup here and there on the sidewalls. There are utensil marks. So not the best one, but I do like that obviously it does have the favorite Piqua ware smiley logo on it. And that is one of the main reasons why I decided to go with this one. Now, could I restore this one? Possibly. Do I think there's a need to? No. I got rid of most of the, the crust and the crumbs and all that stuff, just how cruddy it was. And for me, that's good enough. Most of the stuff that I couldn't get off, the carbon buildup, just so you guys know actually, and this is just going to be a tip that I'm going to throw out there, but the reason why people love electrolysis is because it gets rid of everything, which is rust, any kind of carbon buildup. And see, when you use a lye tank, the lye tank will get rid of all of your seasoning. So whatever caked on seasoning you have on, it will obviously just, disintegrate it. But if you have carbon buildup, it's really hard for that to come off. At that point, it is better for you to place it in a electrolysis tank and do it that way. And that is why that is the preferred method. So if you guys are having a hard time restoring some of your pieces and some of that stuff isn't coming off after you've blasted it with the easy off yellow cap or a lye tank, that is the reason why the carbon isn't technically being affected as much as the polymerized oils. So the polymerized oils, as I mentioned, get disintegrated. Carbon buildup is a different story, at least in my experience. Now, I could be wrong, but that's what I've noticed. So yeah, as I mentioned, favorite Piqua ware, number 8. Now, my brother actually went to a yard sale and he found this one. He got this for 15 bucks. So he always gets great deals. Now, these two could be twins. They are exactly the same. The only difference here that I see is obviously it doesn't have the smiley logo. So, now again, I could be wrong, but to me, I want to say this is also a favorite Piqua wear. So if you guys have a little bit of information, I'm not sure if favorite Piqua wear did unmarked skillets, but if they did, I want to say this is one of them. And as you can see, it has an 8. It doesn't say anything else here. It doesn't have a molder's mark. The handle, the bottom design, just everything about it is exactly identical to the other one. This one, though, I did restore this one myself, and it wasn't in bad shape like that one over there with the logo. This one was actually in decent shape, and it has accepted seasoning so well that it has almost turned jet black. And it is an awesome user. This is one of my favorite ones, to be honest. And it doesn't have the favorite, or I'm sorry, yeah, the favorite Piqua wear smiley logo. But as I mentioned, works great, and it's in better shape than that one. So I love them both. I have thought about possibly keeping this one and selling that one, but when I fall in love with these things, I fall in love hard. So it's too hard for me to let go. So if you guys know, let me know in the chat. I'm gonna read some of these comments. Let me know what you guys think of these skillets. Do you think that this is a favorite? Let me know what you guys think. So let me catch up real quick. Yeah, so it is nice to use butcher paper or wax paper. If you're gonna store them, I would say just like that paper that they use to wrap glass. Like when you go to a store, that paper, it's a lightweight, like almost construction paper. That one is what I found has been really great. You just kind of fold it over twice, and it works great to protect your cast iron pieces. I'm not familiar with Martin, but now it's one I'll keep an eye out for. Yeah, those are awesome. I'm sorry if I'm butchering the name. It is a Bibgorn. I'm sorry. But yes, Martin Stoven range is actually a very nice vintage skillet. You know, they did produce great looking products. Kimberly Miller says, love my favorite, will cook anything. Yeah. And this is why people love vintage pieces, guys. They work great. And that's what I've come to know, is that a lot of people like the vintage pieces for that reason. They work so well. Yeah, the outdoor lights or the outdoor evening light is showing them off really well. Yeah, usually, you know what, I do this indoors, and sometimes the lighting isn't that great inside my home, so I decided to come out here, and this is behind my garage. So this is in my patio, and I figured this would be a great spot to do the live today. Let me know if you guys like the outdoor stuff. But once the cold weather comes, that's going to be a little bit more difficult for me to do the outdoor. So I'll probably most likely venture into doing something similar to Cast Iron Chaos. You know, I don't want to steal his audience, but I know that most of you guys watch him and some other cast iron cookware channels. So, but I do want to do something similar to him, where I'll possibly do a recipe and I'll cook and just pretty much hang out with you guys. So if that's something you guys like, let me know. My most limited collections. Yeah, this is the limited collection. So I only have one of each pretty much. I mean, that one is an unmarked, as I mentioned. The favorite Piqua wear unmarked. But most of them are just single ones. So Martin Stoven range, Wapak, the favorite, unmarked favorite, and we're gonna move on in a minute here so you guys can see. I think I've cut up so far. Rick says he loves all his iron, especially his vintage. Oh, and Rick also says cast ironitis. Yeah, I caught that a long time ago. I started this back in 2018, guys. My very first skillet was actually a Lodge, along with a Next Grill skillet that you could buy at Home Depot. I picked one up just for the heck of it when I started in getting into the cooking. So that was the first cast iron skillet that I ever purchased. Was it phenomenal? No, but it did the job and I liked it. And then from there I started venturing into Lodge. So from Lodge, everything just expanded into everything else. But anyway, guys, let's keep going. Let's do this one. All right, guys, so this one here is a sauce pot, 2-quart. Now, I haven't done anything to it. I bought this on Facebook Marketplace. That's another place you guys can find great deals on cast iron, guys. Neighbors are going off. But anyway, this is a 2-quart. I bought this, and I haven't done anything with it. I've just had it sitting there. I am not sure whether I want to place it in the lye bath and then restart fresh. It doesn't look like it was heavily used, or perhaps somebody tried to restore it themselves. I'm not sure. I never really found it to be in bad shape. It just looks like it's missing seasoning, or very splotchy seasoning. It doesn't look like it's taking hold. As you can see here, it doesn't look very seasoned. So I haven't used it. That's one of the reasons why. And as I mentioned, just I have so many pieces, guys, that it's hard to keep up with everything. So I'm trying to slow down. But here's the lid itself. Now, if you guys have some information on this, let me know what you guys think it is. Is this a BSR? I'm not sure. From what I know, the person didn't know much about this. I think it belonged to their grandparents, and they were getting rid of it. But from what I've seen, here, let me show you the handle design. From what I've seen, this is a BSR. At first, I thought it was a Lodge, just for the teardrop, but I do think it is a BSR. Now, the other thing is that I don't know if this is the lid for it, but I do want to say that it is. I mean, it fits pretty well, fits pretty snug. Doesn't have much down here either. But what do you guys think? Should I restore this, or just continue, season it and continue with it like that? 2-quart. I might consider actually selling this, so not sure yet, or possibly even giving it away. We'll see. If anybody's interested, let me know. We'll possibly do a poll down the road. We'll do a poll and see if anybody's interested in something like this, and possibly do a giveaway for you guys. So yes, that is, as I mentioned, the 2-quart pot. All right, guys, let's move on. What do you guys want to see next? We have 2 chicken fryers down there, and we have 2 UFOs right here, and we have the tortilla presses. So let me catch up with the chat real quick. So Cynthia Wesley says, you can call me Cray Cray, but I knew nothing about names, and after I heard Martin Stoven Range, realized I had a number 9. Nice. I put it up as an heirloom. Don't use it at all. Yeah, and you know what? If you want to keep it as a collection, almost as a, well, yeah, as an heirloom, and you don't want to damage it, or for whatever reason, for a sentimental reason, you want to keep it just hanging up, that's fair enough. That's great. And it can stay in your family for a long time, because it's not like it's going to deteriorate or just anything. And if anything, if you want to hand it down to family, somebody else who wants to use it, perhaps, you can do so. And that's the beauty about cast iron. So it looks like Hippie Longshanks says, I do like the outdoor. Cast iron and outdoors has gone hand in hand for years. Yes, and you know what? The reason why I usually like doing a lot of Dutch oven cooking, guys, but this year has just been extremely windy, and also we've gotten rain, and I live in the desert, and I live in this next to the Sierras, so close to Lake Tahoe, but it's still the desert. And we usually don't get much rain during the summertime. I mean, we get, our thunderstorms, which are usually late July, early August, but we've gotten some insane downpours where I haven't been able to cook outdoors as much as I have like last year. Last year I did so much Dutch oven cooking. It was awesome. But this year, I am missing that. And I haven't gone outdoors or anything like that. The only thing that I pretty much did this year was go to Lake Tahoe a couple times, and I did go to the Mount Shasta, a couple other places, but they don't allow outdoor cooking with with campfire style. You do have to bring a gas stove, and that's limited. You have to get permits, especially because in California with all those fire hazards. So everything has been very limited this year. But I do love cooking outdoors with cast iron. It does, and I do agree, it does go hand in hand. Cynthia says, I believe it's a BSR. Rick says, looks like a BSR. So yeah, I want to say that it possibly is a BSR. All right, guys, so we're going to switch over to the cast iron presses. Sorry about that. All right, guys. So this is a Victoria cast iron press. You can use it for many things. This is made actually in Colombia, or how do you say it in English? Colombia. Colombia for me. I love this company. Victoria is almost like Lodge, just the Latin American version of Lodge. They've been around since 1937, and they do a lot of cast iron cookware as well. They used to actually do, their foundry I think did a lot of automobile parts, things of that nature, but they switched over and they quit with that, and they switched over to cast iron cookware. So they now do a bunch of cast iron cookware. They have a whole line of skillets, griddles, tortilla presses, and many things. If you guys haven't checked out Victoria cast iron, do so. I'm not sponsored or anything of that nature, but their quality is on par with Lodge. The only downside is they don't really come well seasoned, so you do have to give it a coat of your own before you use it. But other than that, the quality is phenomenal. No issues with that. This guy, extremely heavy. So what I do is I like to put this, I guess you could say like shipping paper, cardboard, just so that it doesn't slam down and scratch the interior of it. This one is a little bit more difficult to maintain. It does have a pin here, as you can see. And you can remove it. Washing this guy is a pain in the butt. I don't recommend it. These are difficult to use. If you're going to be using this, I do recommend that you cover it with plastic, so that whenever you're pressing your tortillas, you don't get much of the masa going onto the sides, or whatever it is, empanadas, whatever you want to do. And you can do many things with this. As you can see here, you can make empanadas, arepas, tortillas. Don't know what this is, so forgive me, guys. Don't know what that is. But as I mentioned, great piece of iron. It is very heavy, so this is great for pressing. So the weight itself, almost, you press it down, that masa dough is gonna flatten out like a pancake. So as I mentioned, one of my favorite ones, and this is one of their larger versions. So if you guys are looking for a smaller one, but this one, I think it is an 8 or 9 inch, I think it's an 8-inch diameter. They have a smaller, I think a 7-inch or 6-inch, but I do like the size on this. Is one of my favorite ones, especially because I like using this one for tortillas. Let me know if you guys are interested in learning how to make tortillas, because I actually spent about a whole month learning how to make tortillas, because my mother knew how to do them. She passed away in 2019, and I never learned from her how to make them. So I picked it up from my sister, but my sister didn't have too much experience with making tortillas. She can make empanadas, like a thicker tortilla, like gorditas style, sopes, things of that nature, but not much in tortillas. So I kind of had to pick up some stuff from YouTube. So, but if you guys want a video on how to make tortillas, I can do a tutorial for you guys, and we can use this guy so you guys can see how it is done. Let's move on to the other one. Okay guys, so this one is also a cast iron tortilla press. The only difference, this one's enameled. This one here is made in Mexico. And this one is just, from what I know, the brand is Extra. And you can see here, it also has the Mexican sticker on it. Tried to take it off, but figured I'd just leave it. I've used this several times to make tortillas and things of that nature. As you can see here, it has worn down the enamel. So that's the only downside to these, is that, yeah, you know what, it's gonna chip. As you can see here, there's a little bit of chipping here as well, and there, but a lot easier to clean. So if you guys want to make your tortillas, this one's also great for that. Empanadas, and all those things that I mentioned earlier. This is great for that. Are they heavy? Yes, they are. These are perfect, as I mentioned, for making all these items, because you want something that's going to have that weight to press down on that dough. Whether you make flour tortillas or corn tortillas or empanadas or anything of that nature, this is going to serve great for that purpose. So yes, these are great, and you could possibly use these for some other things too. I'm sure they have other purposes. I'm sure people have hacks, but for me, they're just, you know, tortilla presses. And as I mentioned, you guys can actually buy this. I bought this one at William and Sonoma, which was kind of surprising to find one there. But yeah, so if you guys are looking for one that's cast iron, enameled, easier to use, check out William and Sonoma. They have great stuff. And if you guys don't want anything from there, because it is expensive, but I think for this one I paid about $30. This one's a bit smaller, about 7 inches, but you can also find tortilla presses online on Amazon for a very good price. This one here, not much maintenance, a lot easier than the seasoned one. You can wash it, not have an issue with rusting or having to worry about seasoning. So yes, this one makes it a lot easier. But as I mentioned, if you guys want a tutorial on how to make tortillas, let me know. We'll do a poll with that as well in the future. So yeah, look forward to that if you guys want a little small tutorial for tortillas. Alright guys, so let's move on to the chicken fryers. I do want to say that I've possibly showed this one here on the channel more than once. I've possibly even used it. And this one here I got myself. I got this from my friend Chris, who actually was doing restorations for me a while back. Haven't talked to him since COVID, so hopefully he's still doing well. But he would do this for about $10 a piece. He has an electrolysis tank, and he would give it a coat of seasoning for me. But as I mentioned, I haven't seen him in a while, so my friend Chris, he did this one for me. It actually turned out great. And I got this one from him actually for $30. Was it a great price? No, but it had already been stripped down, cleaned, and seasoned. So for me, all the work had already been done. And honestly, it didn't hurt to buy it at that price. So this one here, I want to say it's an unmarked Wagner. Don't know if it's, I want to say it's obviously fairly newer because it does have the made in the USA. I want to say it's a Wagner, but I'm not sure. It could be another brand. You guys think you guys know if it possibly is Wagner or not? Let me know in the comments. I do like that it does have this here. And if you guys have the, what is it called? Well, the chicken fryer that Lodge sells. This weighs, I want to say, a pound and a half lighter than that one. So the same size, I think it's a 2.5 quart, 2 or a 3 quart. I think it's a 3 quart. That one weighs, I want to say, almost 6 or 7 pounds. This one weighs about 5 pounds. So yeah, it weighs about a pound and a half less than the Lodge. It is smooth on the inside. This one does not sit flat. It is a spinner, but I like using this one outside on my stove or on my grill, and it works great for frying chicken fryer. So this one is the one, as I mentioned, that I got myself from a friend, and works great. No issues with that. Great user. The seasoning has developed really well, so I don't do much in these. I could possibly use it for many other things, but haven't done so yet. So let's check out the other one. This one my brother got, and he had it at his little workshop for over a year until I saw it, and I was like, "What are you doing with that?" And he says, "Well, I don't know. I might just throw it away." And I said, "What do you mean throw it away?" He says, "Well, I don't want it." And I was like, "Well, give it to me and I'll restore it." So let me show you guys this one here that he was planning to get rid of. So also a chicken fryer. This one is a Wagner Ware Sydney O. And this one I want to say is older than that one. So no way I was going to let him throw that away. It was in very bad shape, very crusty. It was very rusty. Just, you couldn't even see anything here. It was just really bad. And this one is also a spinner, but not as bad as that one actually. So this one is a lot better indoors, and I like this one a lot. So I took that from my brother, and as I mentioned, he was planning to just throw it away or get rid of it. Didn't really know what to do. He had it there for a long time, and I remember seeing it. I just hadn't really paid much attention to it, didn't know what it was, until I finally grabbed it, picked it up, and saw that it was indeed a Wagner Sydney O chicken fryer. So very happy that I did find this from him, and that he didn't, as I mentioned, throw it away. What do you guys think on this one? I think I did a great service to the cast iron community by not letting my brother get rid of this, by tossing it away. Handle wise, great. Weight wise, also around the same weight as the unmarked one. So about 5 pounds. No much, it's not much of a difference. Everything is similar. I mean, the only thing that I've noticed that is different is possibly this little lip here. A lot smaller than the older one, or the newer version, the unmarked. But, it does have utensil marks. Let me see if I can show you guys. This one I haven't used it yet, and I've given it about 2 or 3 coats of seasoning. It needs more, so I haven't used it for that reason. But once I get to it, as I mentioned many times already, I have a large collection. It's hard to get to everything, and I need to start rotating. I've been using more of my newer modern cast iron, and I'm going to start switching over to my vintage pieces. So hopefully you guys enjoy checking this one out. Very nice skillet. Okay guys, let me take a pause to review or read some of your guys' comments. Rick says it's been severely windy all year for me too in California high desert. Jackson Walter says yes for the tortilla press. Jackson Walter, low key, I prefer these skillets over the Lodge. Is that what it? Let me see. I'm sorry, I kind of lost my place. Yeah, that's what he said. I prefer these over Lodges. Lodge has some great stuff. I can't bash on Lodge, but yes, Vintage Lodge is very nice as well. So next week I'm gonna do Vintage Lodge. I do have some vintage 3-notch. I have a single notch and some other unique pieces that I think you guys might enjoy looking at. Cynthia Wesley says, yes, Louise, I agree. I love my Victoria, a real workhorse. Yes, it is, actually. I do have a, I think it's a 12-inch and a Dutch oven. And they work great. I want to say I purchased those alongside the Lodge when I first started collecting cast iron. I purchased those. One of the reasons why, and it's a silly reason, but I'll let you guys know, kind of a little story here. But the reason why I actually chose to buy a Victoria Lodge, or I'm sorry, Victoria, after I bought Lodge, when I was doing my research on cast iron was because of the price. It's actually fairly priced, similar to Lodge. The other reason is that is actually my wife's name. Her name is Victoria. So I was like, these are perfect. And I bought them in plan, and kind of like a plan to give those to my wife. She's a great cook, but she has a hard time with cast iron, and she didn't really take much to it. So she likes using her stainless steel. She likes using her non-stick, which I rarely let her use, but she'll use it on occasion here and there. So she didn't take much to it, so I still have them, but as I mentioned, just such a large collection, it is hard to keep up with everything. Cynthia Wesley says, Rick D, I bet your house leans you got so much iron. Rick's house is possibly leaning to one side because of all the cast iron. I want to say my house is probably well anchored. We don't have tornadoes here, but for a tornado to pass by my house, if there was any, my house would be well anchored, and all that iron might help it out. Obviously, possibly not, but I guess you could say that's a joke for today. Jeanette says, use it to make tostones. Yeah, actually, you know what? That's something that I want to. My mom used to love doing fried banana. We would sometimes buy the what they call in Spanish the plantains in English, but the macho that's what they call it in Spanish. Well, at least from where I come from, the banana is plátano macho. We also would, as I mentioned, my mother would cook these, fry them up, and she loved making them. I never really, got into enjoying them as much as I should have, but that is something definitely that I want to try. So it looks like you guys want to do the tortilla lesson. Yeah, so I can possibly do a tortilla lesson for you guys. We'll make it alive, and we'll see how that goes. Hopefully it won't be as much chaos as Cast Iron Chaos. Hopefully we can leave the chaos to him. Not that he's a bad cook. So don't take it, don't get a wrong impression on me saying those things. It's just, he's very eccentric. He's very, just his way of cooking. That's what makes it exciting to watch Cast Iron Chaos. He's just, I guess you could say, unplanned, and it just works so well with him, and it makes it so enjoyable. But anyway, let's keep going, guys. So we're going to go and move on to the last two sets, which is going to be, or the last two skillets, which are UFOs, and I think I've already shown them to you guys before, but here we go. Alright, guys. This one here is what I want to call a lucky number 7. Handle design looks almost like the what do they call it? Fancy handle. It almost looks like a fancy handle. I mean, it just looks very, you know, very elegant, very nice handle design. Just, I don't know who made it. It has no marks whatsoever. Don't know if it's American. Don't know if it's Chinese. Don't know if it's Taiwanese. I have no information on this. But it is in great shape, sits perfectly flat, and cooks really well. The other thing that I've noticed about this number 7, it is actually fairly deep. It's about 1.5 inches, almost 2 inches in depth. So it is a deeper skillet. So that's one of the things that makes me believe that perhaps it might be Chinese or maybe even Taiwanese. It did have good milling before. You can kind of see some of that. Let me see if I can catch it in the light. It had milling, but obviously it's all gone now. Seasoning is here and there. I've used it several times. I forget what I did with it, and some of that seasoning kind of just took a hit, and I have to rebuild it again. But it looks great, and I love the handle design. That actually is what drew me to it. The handle design for me was very unique, and the 7 too. So I want to call this one my lucky number 7. Love the depth of it. This is a great daily for anything. You know, if you want to saute veggies, this is deep enough for you to, you know, possibly do this with the sauteing of the veggies. Possibly a nice quiche if you want to do a quiche. A lot of people don't make quiches, but they're very underrated in my own opinion. But this would work great for even baking. This is a great size, almost I want to say the size of a pie pan. So possibly a great pie baking skillet. But very unique piece. If you guys know what it is, or you might have any information on what you think it is, let me know in the comments. Hopefully we can find out. If not, obviously it's going to be a UFO or a unidentified flying object, as Cast Iron Chaos likes to coin it. All right, and then the last one, guys, is going to be this one here, which is the well, I don't know, it's just a UFO too. The initial skillet. This is the HO, or the HO. I'm just kidding, guys. It's a pun. Sorry for my terrible jokes. My son actually has great jokes. But anyway, this one here, great milling. Love it. Doesn't sit completely flat. And I've showed it to you guys several times now. The handle, not the most comfortable to hold in my hand because it has some jagged edges. Just the casting itself is just not that great. Very difficult to use, but works great. It is a number 9. Size is pretty nice. Now the thing that I love, and see what I'm doing here? I can hold it without any issue. It is so lightweight that I want to say it's about 4.5 pounds. And for the size, for it being a number 9, it's great for that. And that's why it's a pleasure to use. So I like it a lot. I want to say that possibly this was a recast of a early Erie. I want to say that the Erie had these designs here, like this here, the handle design here. But it is a very, very poorly made copycat of an Erie. But nonetheless, I like it. And I like the fact that it's very lightweight. And it has accepted seasoning now. So I am not going to get rid of it. I'm going to keep it in my collection. And you're going to see it more often. Possibly using it more on the channel. So yes, this one, the lightest of the bunch. Yeah, actually the lightest of the bunch. Extremely light. Doesn't sit completely flat, but it is not a spinner. So I like that, especially because I do have a glass cooktop. But overall, a pleasure to use. So hopefully you guys enjoyed watching this stuff. So let's get to the chat. Sorry about the motorcycle in the background. That's the neighbor. All right, let's see. Where did I leave off? Rick says, don't put too much pressure on the handle. Are you talking about the tortilla press? Because I do know that they revised the model. There was one prior to that model that I guess had that issue where the handle would crack under pressure, and a lot of people would obviously have issues with that. But I did hear that this one was an updated version of that model. Not sure if that's what you were referring to, but yeah. So if you go to Amazon, and that's actually where I got this one here, the Victoria cast iron press. They do say that they revised it, so they put out a revised model of that press. Also, Hippie Longshanks says that he has a gray extra press. It is marked Hecho en Mexico. Yeah, and I think that one those are the either the aluminum. If it's lightweight, it's aluminum. If it's not, then I want to say it's galvanized steel. So I would recommend using on that tortilla press, the plastics or whatever you have. Just, I don't know if it'd be safe. I mean, I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's safe to use, but either way, I do think it might be. I know that they do use galvanized steel on some of those. I typically stay away from them, but they still make great users. So I've seen those before, but those are great. The best price for me, Cynthia, is free, and I get a lot of that, so I am happy with that. But I get a lot of free stuff from my brother. He usually goes out and he doesn't mind getting me things. He'll go out and he'll pick some items up, and when he does, he usually gets them for he'll get 3 pieces of iron for $15. And I'll offer him money, but some of the times he'll tell me no, and sometimes he'll tell me okay. But most of the times, as I mentioned, he gives me the iron that he collects. So yeah, but a good price, a good price is going to be $5, $10, $15. But it also depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for a Griswold, and you find it for $30, let's say you find a number 8 for $30, that's a great price. Because they usually go for no less than $200. Restored. A Griswold number 8, slant logo, big block. Yeah, they go for about $220, $225. So for $30, that's a great deal. $40, still a great deal. And if you can even find a restored one for $80, that's still a great deal. That's not breaking the bank, especially for a Griswold slant logo number 8. It just depends. I did recently, I don't know if you guys saw it, but I did actually find a Griswold slant logo number 14, which actually resells on eBay and Etsy for about $600 or $700. And my brother actually didn't want to give it to me, so I kind of took it from him and stuck it in the light tank. And I told him, I said, listen, this one is a great find. There's no way I want to sell this. There's no way I want to get rid of it. It's a huge skillet, but I'm going to keep it because those are extremely rare to come by. He got it for $60, which he was actually, they were asking about $80 to $100. And he knows some of the people that he got it from. He knows those people, so he got it for a discounted price. As I mentioned, $60 was great for that number 14 Griswold big block logo. And again, sorry guys for the I got a neighbor here that works on trucks and motorcycles, and this is sometimes why I don't want to do things outdoors, because they are pretty loud. Jackson Walter says, "Thank you, Chris, wherever you are." Yeah, I'm not a great friend. I wish that I would keep contacts better, but after COVID, I just kind of been just doing my thing. But Chris, great guy, and he did a lot of restorations for me at a great price. So I was very happy that he was a friend, and I still consider him to be a friend. I just haven't talked to him in a while. AAA Sports says, I have a mint condition Wapak Indian number 8. Yeah, those are super rare to come by. Did you actually buy it from, somebody had already restored it, or did you just come and find it in, I want to say, in a unrestored condition and restored it yourself? I also would like to know the price, because as I mentioned, those are a little bit more expensive and harder to come by. Duck PWND says, "Oh my God, Luis is live. Hi, Luis. Hi. Yes, I am trying to do live." Cynthia Wesley says, "That is a sweet story. Thank you." Cynthia Wesley says, "Yes, your iron will help hold it down from hurricanes. I wish." I don't think they'd fly away, I'll tell you that, especially if I stack them up. Let's see. Sorry guys, I know this one's I'm catching up with the comments here. Honey Badger says he made Reese's chocolate chip cookies tonight on his new Lodge 16-inch. That is very nice. Pizza pan. The pizza pan. Yeah, those are great. I actually have 2 of those. I had 3 at one point, but I gave one away. I gave several away, actually. Rick says there's really no reason to use that much pressure. Yeah, and I think you're referring to the press. Yeah, there isn't much reason to use pressure. I mean, as I mentioned, the weight of the plate is going to be enough to flatten out any kind of the masa or dough that you might have. Cynthia says, "Now you're talking my lingo." Yes, free. Everyone loves something free. Sorry I'm late, says Sam Cook. No worries there, Sam Cook. Yes, and Hippie Longshake says that he likes the outdoor noises. Yes, it is a very relaxed day. I had a great day. I don't know if I mentioned it to you guys, but I did go out with my wife. I hadn't gone out on a date, just her and I. And we recently did. We just went to a Van Gogh exhibit, and it was lovely because, as I mentioned, I usually have my kids with me or somebody's with me, and it's never really my wife and I. So it was very nice. We hadn't done that in a long time, so very overdue. And that's one thing that I want to put out there, guys. Make sure you take your wives out, or your girlfriends, or somebody that you're dating. Don't forget to take out your partner. Honey Badger says that he's doing a video on how to pronounce and read Ohio vintage cast iron. Yes, I will be looking forward to that. I didn't know you had a channel, but let me know, and I will tune in to also learn, because this community is about sharing, guys. I know most of the people here like to learn about cast iron and cooking alongside with many other techniques. So yes, I do like, and I'm not gonna oppose anybody here trying to share some information as well. You are more than free to do so. And if anybody wants to tune in to Honey Badger's videos, Honey Badger, let us know when you are planning to do this, and we'll tune in. Alright guys, so now that we've kind of just been hanging out here talking, let me do a walk around so you guys can take another gander at all this iron that I have here on my table. Martin Stoven range, number 8. These are mostly number 8s, guys, except for the ones that are not obviously marked number 8s. But yes, Martin Stoven range. Favorite Piqua ware. The 2 number 8 chicken fryers. The Wapak number 8 Z logo. The 2-quart BSR saucepan or sauce pot. The Victoria tortilla press and the extra enameled tortilla press. Unmarked favorite Piqua ware. The Lucky number 7 UFO, along with the HO initial skillet. Alright guys, so it's been about 62 minutes, guys. Hopefully I didn't bore you guys too much. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Now the next video is going to be all about Lodge. I'm not going to bring out I own, with Lodge products, I want to say that I own over 100 pieces. So there's no way I'm going to bring all that out. What I am going to bring out is my vintage Lodge collection that I own from them. So I'm going to do my best to collect them. I have some, they're scattered at the moment. I have some of them over at my father's house, some of them here, but I am going to collect the vintage iron that I have from Lodge and do one of Lodge next week on Thursday. So my lives are going to be on Thursday, so mark that on your calendar, guys. I think it's going to be the 1st of September, so make sure you guys mark that on your calendar. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this. As I mentioned, I hope that I didn't bore you guys too much, and I am doing my best to get better with these lives. Let me know what needs improvement. I know that and I don't take offense to any of that stuff. So if you guys think that I'm repeating myself too much or saying a word too much, let me know in the comments. Let me know how I can improve. As I mentioned, I am going to do some videos, some lives with me cooking, recipes, baking. But initial videos right now are just showcasing the vintage iron that I own. I will still be uploading some pre-recorded videos of unboxings, reviews, things of that nature. So look forward to that. But I'm doing my best to keep up as much content as I can. I do a lot of shorts as well. So tune into all that stuff, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this. The 64 minutes so far that we've been talking here and hanging out. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the time here. And I do know that your time is valuable, so I don't want to bore you guys to death too much. So with that said, I wish you guys a lovely evening, a lovely night. Stay safe, everybody. And I will catch you guys on the next live on Thursday next week.